You won't believe what recently dropped in the hip-hop world. A full-blown courtroom bombshell that's shaking the very foundations of rap monarchy. What happens when a great musician decides gonna tear the lid off his old rival's family secrets? In a court document. Yup, you heard that correctly. Camron just threw the ultimate shade, and we're talking about exposing Jim Jones's family, in Everyone from Harlem to Hollywood, is wondering if this is the worst betrayal the game has seen in years, or just another day in the vicious world of rap drama. What dirty laundry did Camron dig out, and how far will this conflict go? Spoiler alert, it's juicier than a reality TV reunion, with twists and turns that'll leave you shaking. Stick around because we're about to break down every scandalous detail, all the receipts, and the aftermath that's ready to demolish careers. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Grab your popcorn, because the reality is about to get loud, messy, and downright violent. Ready to plunge in right now, since you're sitting on the edge of your seat. Let's unpack exactly what Camron is throwing down in this bombshell court filing. This isn't just some petty family dispute or old school rap beef recycled for clicks. All-out legal expose, with allegations so outrageous, they're virtually asking for a Netflix series. At the center of the storm, Jim Jones, Harlem's own rapper turned businessman, and his entire family. Circle Camron's filing presents a picture of a tightly linked family enterprise that is not just about music and fortune, but allegedly built on a foundation of fraud, corruption, and brazen. Remember the Dipset days, the renowned crew that placed Harlem back on the hip-hop map. Jim Jones, famed for his gritty lyrics and street-savvy hustle, developed an image of success and loyalty. But behind the scenes, Camron's lawsuit contends that the image is a carefully manufactured facade, covering a darker truth. What precisely has Jim Jones's family been orchestrating? A series of false company endeavors, organizations that exist only on paper, but move millions of dollars through complicated money laundering procedures. One of the so-called businesses is as apparently a real estate investment company on the surface. It appears legit high-rise buildings, prime Harlem addresses, and a constant stream of investors. However, digging further, Camron claims that with the assistance of inside sources, he discovered phantom transactions, exaggerated property prices, and questionable wire transfers that indicate the money isn't coming. From Jim Jones claims sources gave Camron with leaked bank accounts revealing unusual transactions in the millions, frequently followed by fast withdrawals to offshore accounts in the Caribbean and Europe. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The filing also accuses several family members of colluding in these schemes, some of whom are directly named, while others referenced anonymously. But the message is clear. This isn't a one-man show. The entire family apparently plays a role in sustaining this intricate house of cards. But it's not only about shady. According to the documents, some family members were forced into silence with threats of disinheritance or public humiliation. In addition to financial manipulation, others were allegedly set up as scapegoats as things started to unravel. Consider this: when family devotion is weaponized to cover wrongdoing, you're looking at a toxic environment that extends far beyond rap drama. Camron's filing outlines covert gatherings in private houses where family members dispute heatedly about how to manage the aftermath, with some advocating for full cooperation with authorities, while others demand silence at all costs. The narrative gets increasingly complex when you bring in stories about excessive spending, fancy cars, private jets. One unnamed source recalled a party where champagne flowed like water, designer labels ruled the room, and the sense was that Nothing mattered since it was all constructed on public until now, and the timing, you guessed it. This court file fell only weeks before Jim Jones's. Their highly anticipated album release caused shockwaves in the music scene. Was it a planned power play by Camron to take the attention, or a real demand for justice and truth? The argument rages. In response, Jim Jones and his side have dug down on their denial, characterizing the lawsuit as a bogus witch hunt and accused Camron of attempting to resurrect an old feud to remain relevant. But here's the kicker. Court records do not lie, and these documents are already being studied by media outlets, fans, and legal analysts alike. Social media is a war. As fans choose sides, hashtags like Enter Camron Court Battle and Tro Jim Jones Exposed are trending. Memes ridiculing opulent Dipset lifestyles circulate alongside serious threads. Examining the potential fallout, some followers refuse to think their idol could be involved in anything criminal, while others say it's about time the truth came out, and it's not only fans, but fellow artists are discreetly weighing in behind the scenes, with some insiders admitting they're stunned, but not surprised by the allegations the formerly tight-knit Harlem rap community is now divided with. As this legal drama unfolds, relationships shift, and all eyes are now on the courthouse. What happens next might redefine not only Jim Jones's legacy, but the entire Dipset brand, prominent for nearly 2 decades. Will this family withstand the storm? Or will the empire implode under the weight of Camron's accusations? The following section will go into the juicy details from leaked reports, mysterious insider insights, and the public's explosive reaction to this crisis. We'll find the wild stories that didn't make headlines, meetings, hush money, and power moves behind the scenes. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Picking up right where we left off, this legal struggle isn't your usual courtroom drama. Camron's filing reads like a thriller, replete with bombshells, hidden videos, and financial trails that look like they came straight out of a Hollywood crime film. So let's get into the meaty details that have everyone discussing behind closed doors and trending on social media. First, let's speak about the money, because obviously, that's where the actual, according to private documents released confidentially to individuals close to Camron, the Jim Jones family supposedly manages a complex system of shell firms masquerading as real enterprises. These entities submitting claims transfer money through a complex network of accounts meant to conceal the true origins of financial flows. One insider, who wished to remain unnamed but claims to have worked within the family's financial management staff, told investigators that on some nights, we'd see wires coming in from places that didn't make sense, firms that don't even exist, merely empty LLCs put up for laundering money. This source went on to explain expensive spending sprees that didn't match the income Jim Jones publicly revealed, that private yachts, exotic holidays, and luxury cars were purchased without any obvious business rationale, while family members participated in the plan allegedly earned substantial payouts, promoting a culture of secrecy and greed. Leaked bank records paint an even more damaging picture. One file allegedly reveals a $3 million transfer from a Caribbean account into a New York-based real estate holding business, a transaction with no logical reason. Another document discloses multiple cash withdrawals totaling over $500,000 in a single month, all highlighted by suspicious activity reports that, weirdly, went uninvestigated at the time. And it doesn't stop there. The complaint also argues that other family members utilize fictitious identities to obtain various credit, lines and shell accounts, stories for years about some shady deals behind the scenes. But no one had proof until today. Meanwhile, a former Dipset affiliate requested anonymity told us, "I'm not surprised, family money gets messy everywhere. But this sounds like a whole other level. It's sad really, and it's not just the hip-hop community. Local Harlem officials and community activists have begun to speak out, expressing concern about how these charges may harm the neighborhood's reputation." One community leader stated, "Harlem's history is rich, and we don't need a scandal like this to overshadow everything the community has worked for." Behind the scenes, the filing has sent shockwaves through the family's business connections. Several companies tied to the Jones family have reportedly begun to distance themselves. According to reports, private negotiations among business partners have focused on quietly withdrawing sponsorships and relationships to avoid getting drawn into the controversy surrounding damage control, how to handle a PR nightmare that might escalate out of control. They're trying to figure out which contracts to cancel and who to blame if the feds get involved. Insider disclosed, speaking of the feds, murmurs of a federal inquiry have been increasing stronger, yet no formal pronouncements have been made by the government. A person acquainted with the incident revealed that multiple organizations, including the IRS and FBI, have taken an interest in the case. The source also hinted that financial irregularities flagged in the file matches tendencies we look for in money laundering and tax evasion cases, but emphasized that investigations are still in the early stages. Fans of both Camron and Jim Jones have turned this into a full-blown cultural dispute online, and comment sections are packed with intense arguments, with some accusing Camron of treason and others dubbing Jim Jones's family a mafia-style enterprise. Even artists not directly involved have weighed in via social media, some throwing subtle shade, while others openly supporting Camron's fight for truth and responsibility. One viral tweet summed it up brilliantly. When hip-hop luminaries start revealing family dysfunction like a reality show, you know it's larger than music. This scandal is more than just rap. It's a cautionary tale about how power, money, and familial ties can twist together into something lethal. And while the story continues to develop, it's anyone's guess. Guess how far the rabbit hole falls. Will new players emerge? Will additional leaks arise? Or will the family manage to snuff out the fire before it engulfs them all? We're just getting started with the final part. We'll break down the fallout, the legal fights ahead, prospective resignations, government investigations, and the public outrage that could make or destroy the Jones family legacy. You do not want to miss what happens next, right where we left off. The impact of Camron's dramatic court filing is transforming the entire landscape of Harlem's hip-hop community and beyond. The once close-knit Dipset family is now fractured, with the corporate empire rattled and the public eagerly watching as the drama plays on every music. First, let's discuss legal. The filing generated an avalanche of responses, with Jim Jones's legal team shooting back with strong motions to dismiss, calling the charges false, defamatory, and simply strategic. In the middle of the tumult, Jim Jones's brand partnerships are taking a serious impact. Major sponsors have begun to in today's social media climate. Corporations do not want to be connected with legal scandals, no matter how popular the musician is. This financial strain throws a new layer of pressure on Jim Jones and his team, perhaps impacting the future record. Release tours and commercial ventures. One source remarked, "When the money dries up, the real problems begin on a more personal level." Friends close to Jim Jones reveal he's under Great One confidant. Stated, "This is not just about business. It is a personal nightmare. Having family drama spill into the public eye is painful and weighs heavily on him." Despite the upheaval, Jim Jones has been seen holding meetings with prominent PR consultants and legal counsel, seeking to strategize a comeback and repair his reputation. Rumors of a documentary about the controversy has surfaced, albeit nothing formal has been confirmed. In the meanwhile, Camron has positioned himself as the whistleblower, the one who ventured to draw back the curtain on a family empire based on unstable roots. His camp has been silent publicly, but active behind the scenes, engaging with investigators and planning for what might be a lengthy court battle. Some suspect that Camron's timing wasn't accidental, that he might be exploiting this filing not just for justice, but for a power play within Harlem's rap hierarchy. Regardless, his move has sent a clear message that no family secrets are protected, and no enterprise is untouchable outside of the courtroom. Community leaders and Harlem residents are ready for the long-term impacts. One community activist told us, "The community cannot afford to be divided by this." At the same time, local organizations and youth initiatives are allegedly concerned about funding. Sponsors reconsider their involvement owing to the issue surrounding one of Harlem's most renowned personalities, the media circus surrounding. The case has also prompted debates regarding privacy, loyalty, and the narrow line between public interest and sensationalism. Critics argue that the personal lives of artists should remain private, while others believe transparency is vital awareness. This tale develops. The music industry is keeping a careful eye on whether additional artists will come forward with their own stories. Could this case inspire more scrutiny of hip-hop's financial affairs? Or will it become just another forgotten chapter after the headlines die down? One thing's for sure, the Jones family crisis has changed the game. Rap rivalry has developed into a legal and cultural phenomena that is forcing everyone to examine what loyalty and legacy truly mean in the world of hip-hop. So what's next? Court. Hearings are slated to begin within the next several months, and sources indicate they might extend for years. Meanwhile, expect more leaks, drama, and possibly even more players. If you thought this was just another quarrel, think again. This is a narrative of power, treachery, and survival, told through the prism of one of Harlem's most renowned figures. Families keep tuned for the final decision, when justice, truth, and legacy collide. Alright fam, now that you've heard all the outrageous facts, the secret agreements, the familial betrayals, and the legal battles changing Harlem's rap culture, what do you think? Camron is the ultimate truth teller, revealing a corrupt empire, or simply stirring the pot to bring down Jim Jones? Might this scandal changes the game for us Dipset, merely another chapter in their long ugly feud? Drops your hottest don't. Hold back on your comments. Who is actually to fault here, and how far? Do you believe this legal struggle will go? There is hope for the Jones family to come. Return from this, or is this the beginning? At the end, if you're ready for more exclusive, jaw-dropping exposés, make sure to press that like button slam. Subscribe and ring the bell to ensure you don't miss a single update. Trust me with. You want to be part of these tremendous stories. Be the first to know when the next, until the bombshell drops. Keep your eyes open, ears acute, and recall in the world of hip-hop, the truth always weirder than fiction.